football. We're going to bring on Ocean City head coach Kevin Smith, and we're going to find out what's going on with the Red Raiders here as they start training camp. How you doing today, Coach?
Hey, Dave. How are you?
Hey, pretty good. Thanks for joining us so early in the morning here. I bet you've probably been up since about 6 o'clock a.m., right?
Yeah, I got a 2.5-year-old. So, he doesn't care what time it is.
Right. Well, I appreciate you taking a few minutes out. What's going on with the Red Raiders? I wanted to check in with you guys. You guys went 3-7 last year, but I know you had a real young team, and you were kind of looking forward to this year with some of those guys getting some varsity experience last year.
Yeah, we only had 8 seniors on the whole team last year. So there's a lot of guys back. I mean, we lost some key linemen, which is always tough. I mean, that's your most important position group, the up front guys. But we bring back pretty much all the skill guys. So, the experience certainly helps them. And we went up to the big league last year, and I feel like we got acclimated to that a little bit, and so we know what to expect. So we're excited.
Yeah, definitely a tougher schedule last year as you guys moved up to the Cape Atlantic League's American Conference. You're talking about teams like St. Joe, the Prep, EHT, Vineland, a lot of bigger schools, a lot of Group 4 schools, Absegami. What was the biggest difference last year in terms of facing that kind of schedule?
To be honest, I think it was a confidence issue. I think that we were, when they announced the schedule, I think there was, I don't want to say an intimidation factor, but a sense that, can we play with these schools, and, how are we going to handle this? And quite honestly, I felt like, despite the record, that we handled ourselves well. I mean, we kind of got our doors blown off by the Prep and St. Joe, and but they did that to just about everybody.
Yeah, definitely.
And we competed with all the public schools. I mean, the speed, Millville Speed gave us a little trouble. The Armstead kid was a grown man, but otherwise, we were right there. I mean, we were in fourth quarters, and the biggest thing is we felt like, hey, man, we can match up with these teams, and coming from the lower league. Man, there's some great football down there, and Bridgeton and the Creek and, Oakcrest now, they can play with most of the teams up top. So the cow's deep. And I think that we learned that, the record wasn't great, but we really weren't over our heads.
Well, I guess the good thing is, you won your final 2 games, came out real strong, beating Absegami in the season opener, then hit the bit of a skids. You did have some close games against Egg Harbor Township and Atlantic City, kind of hung in there. And then you win the final 2 games of the year, the consolation game and then the Thanksgiving game against Pleasantville. How much does that help going into the offseason, or does that even matter because it's been so long ago?
I don't know. I haven't really thought about it. Maybe I'll start selling them that we're on a 2-game win streak. I guess
there you go.
I hadn't thought about that, but I don't know. I don't know if there's a carryover in terms of what happens on the field. Every year it's a new group, and I know we bring a lot of guys back, but we're breaking in a lot of new linemen, and that's just, a ton of reps. And, I mean, kids are kids, man. You never know what you're going to get until, they're actually doing it. So, you learn to temper your expectations because, they're unpredictable. They're 16. And experience is important for sure. And more than anything else, confidence is important. I noticed with us that, we were a completely different team when we played with confidence. And that's, I think true of teams that have struggled. You sort of get conditioned, to not have success. And when things start to go bad, it becomes a battle to try to, get kids to, sort of realign their thought process. I mean, football is really mental. The Absegami game turned around on one big play. We ran a kickoff back after they scored to go ahead 12-0. And suddenly it was like we realized, oh, my gosh, we can play with these guys.
Right.
So if you have a sense of confidence, I think that speaks volumes at this level, and hopefully we can instill some of that in the scrimmages and then carry it over.
How do you instill that into a group of young men, particularly in the off season? Do you meet up with these guys? Give them any kind of inspirational talks, that kind of thing, or is it just wait till the first day of camp and kind of go with the pep rally theme from there?
And the biggest thing that we try to do is compete at everything that we do. I mean, basically every period that we have in practice ends with some sort of competition where there's a consequence. I mean, whether it's a blocking drill, if we're doing our team blocking drill at the very end, we'll put everybody in a circle and we'll draw guys out and go one-on-one, and we make the team pick, they got to get behind one guy or the other, and whoever loses, it's up downs. We're doing 7-on-7 offense versus defense, and we'll go 3 plays from the 15, and if the offense doesn't score, then everybody on the offense has up down. I mean, the goal is to make them realize that there's winners and losers in competitive sports, and that they always have to be competing, and that they have to want the success, and that they have to understand that hey man, I don't want to lose. I don't want to be in a position where I have that sense of I wasn't able to get it done. And more than the pep talk, the pep talks and all that stuff, they're great for movies, but man, when you get out there on the field, that stuff lasts like 5 minutes. That's all. It's seriously, man, that's adrenaline, and that adrenaline goes away real quick, and then it comes down to who's mentally and physically tougher. And so trying to instill the mental toughness is a big challenge and something we're working hard on.
Well, I know, you and I spoke a little bit last year about how you were really trying to get more physically stronger with this team. Obviously, you want to be as mentally strong as possible, but you realize that to compete in the Cal American against teams like Egg Harbor Township and Absegami, who have a lot bigger student population, and a lot more guys to draw from, that you guys needed to get a little bit better in the weight room, a little bit bigger, a little bit stronger. How has that process been going for you?
Yeah, I think that's the biggest success in the last couple of years of the program, is that we've closed the gap with a lot of the schools we compete against as far as that's concerned. I mean, my first year as head coach, we were up in the American Conference, and we just got physically manhandled by teams. And again, aside from the real powerhouses of this division, that wasn't the case this year. We didn't lose football games because we got physically manhandled. We lost because we didn't execute well enough, or because we weren't able to run with certain teams. But we are certainly proud of the weight program, and it's also helped us stay healthier. We had some unfortunate injuries last year, but the injuries, the concussions specifically, are way down over where they were a couple years ago. So yeah, man, that's something that we have to continue to just bang away at, and the participation in the off-season program has been great. So I'm very happy about that.
Yeah, football's definitely one of those sports where you especially at the high school level, you really have to stay as healthy as possible. To that end, have you guys done anything differently this off-season? Every year there's new kind of theories coming out about how to get in better shape, how to stay more healthy. How much do you keep track of all the new stuff, or are you kind of an old school guy and say, hey, if you get yourself in the right kind of shape, you'll be fine throughout the season?
No, we've got a really organized off-season program, and we're very fortunate to have a strength and conditioning coach on staff, John Porter, who is highly acclaimed and certified trainer. He trains. As a matter of fact, we were able to work out summer with Vinny Curry of the Eagles, and Eric Ebron of the Lions, and Jamil McClain of the Giants. Those are three of John's clients. And so they were down, just doing a lot of drill work with us and a lot of weight training stuff. And I mean, it's evolved a long way beyond, just throw the guys on the bench and let's just bench and squat and get out of here. I mean, there's a ton of stuff that, John's a little smarter than I am as far as this stuff goes. And I mean, he'd be a great one to explain exactly what he's doing. But it's all trying to correlate to things that you're doing on a football field. I mean, you're still doing the traditional Olympic lifts, but I mean, there aren't really any opportunities for you to lay on your back and try to press somebody off you on a football field. And if you are, then you're in a bad position.
Yeah, you're in trouble, right?
So, that's right. So, we're trying to do some stuff that's a little more oriented to, developing, strength that's going to apply to the football field.
We're talking with Ocean City head football coach Kevin Smith as we just a few weeks away here from the start of the season. Coach, how excited are you to get this season rolling? I know you've probably been working out for a few weeks here in terms of 7-on-7s, all that kind of stuff, and now you're really into the meat of the preseason. It's got to be quite a thrill for you to get back out there. I know these high school football coaches, they kind of live, eat, and breathe football, so it's got to be great to be able to get back out there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a little corny in that. I mean, there's certain things that I look forward to, like when they cut the grass in the morning. I love that smell, and when they line the field for the first time, that's exciting. especially since our game field is a soccer field for most of the summer. So when they put the football lines on there, we really feel like it's our time. And you work so long and so hard for you just kind of banging away, and then you're so excited to see where you are. So yeah, this is the time. Everybody's optimistic right now.
Yeah.
Nobody's had their hopes crushed yet. And then we open on September 11th this year, and Ocean City's a unique venue. We're at home for our opener, and the boardwalk is usually packed, and the Ferris wheel's going, and the ocean's usually loud, and we'll have some 9/11 ceremonies pregame, and it's going to be an exciting atmosphere. So yeah, we're really happy to get it rolling.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you a little bit about that before we let you go. The kids who are in high school now, they were, if not just being born, toddlers at that time. September 11, 2001. What do they know about that time? Do they understand what happened to the country, and do they show interest in that? And how do you kind of explain that as a football coach as to what the feeling was throughout the country during that time?
Yeah, I'm a history teacher too. I teach U.S. history and government, and that's pretty much what we start our year with. Because you get your 3-4 days into school, and then there's September 11th, and it's been funny over the years to go from kids who you're talking to kids who were in a high school classroom when it happened,
right,
and kids who were like terrified about what was it going to happen here, to now kids who barely remember it. They're kind of like, I was 4 years old, or I was 3 years old. I remember my mom came to school and picked me up, and my older son is 16, and like, mm-hmm. he all he says is I remember an airplane hit the building, and
right.
So there, you don't want to get too much into the politics of this kind of stuff with these kids, but it is important to emphasize with them, that there's a sense of pride and patriotism in who we are and in what we represent, and as a country, and that you have to sort of carry that over individually, man. If people take pride in their country, but you also have to take pride in who you are as a person, doing the best job that you can in whatever you're doing, being the best son, being the best student, being the best teammate. I think that there's a lot of life lessons that you can teach. Football goes way beyond that. I learned a lot of great stuff on the football field, but the things I remember most are the things that I carry with me in my life now. And, this, not just 9/11, but, the practice of being a football coach in general is a great opportunity to teach those lessons to young men.
Yeah, definitely. Coach, I know you got to run. Thanks for taking a few minutes out of your Saturday morning to chat with us, and we'll see you out there soon on the football field. Good luck this year.
All right, sounds great. Appreciate it.
Thanks. That was head coach Kevin Smith of the Ocean City High School Red Raiders. They'll be getting started here in about 3 or 4 weeks with the 2015 season. So